Bai Chunyu put away the smile on his face, and his expression was frighteningly cold. "Let's get started. Quick battle? We don't have much time to delay here." As soon as he finished speaking, the whole person suddenly became illusory, and then very abruptly, his body began to disintegrate. Not disintegrate, but turned into countless white snowflakes. "Snow is falling on the earth," as Bai Chunyu changed. The temperature of the surrounding air seemed to drop a few degrees, completely annihilating the residual heat left after the bombing. Even the snow in the air became more and more dense, covering the entire battlefield. "Disappeared?" Dagonghui Yanjin narrowed his eyes and stared at the surroundings carefully. "No, he is around." Suddenly, there were more and more snowflakes in the air, and the six-pointed snowflakes were dense enough to block people's vision. Suddenly, from 3 directions, a large group of blizzards attacked Dagonghui Yanjin. Dagonghui Yanjin clenched, the dragonfly cutter in his hand, and slashed it horizontally towards his body. But this kind of attack has no effect on the millions of snowflakes. The next moment, the blizzard came in front of him and directly submerged him. Millions of snowflakes were flying, and the sound they made was strange, like a flying knife cutting through an object. The originally soft and white snowflakes turned into extremely sharp blades at this time, and countless six-sided flying knives began to cut Dagonghui Yanjin's body mercilessly. Small wounds appeared all over his body and blood flowed out. That feeling was no different from being cut into pieces. Even a body as strong as steel and iron could not withstand such intensive attacks. Dagonghui Yanjin showed a painful look on his face. "Get out of the way!" He waved the dragonfly in his hand frantically, but no matter how powerful he was or how sharp his weapon was, he couldn't break thousands of snowflakes. "Roar!" Dagong Yanjin roared, and a powerful aura burst out from his body. He broke the flying snow all over the sky. However, in the space around him, there were more and more snowflakes, and even formed a huge sky above his head. Bai Chunyu's incarnation of snow drifting in the world was specially used to restrain people like him who only had brute force. Dagong Yanjin heard Bai Chunyu's cold voice echoing around. "No matter how powerful you are, can you break the snowflakes?" Dagong Yanjin was about to say something, but suddenly a hole appeared in the snow wall in front of him. Li Taichang, wearing heavy armor and holding a huge anchor, rushed over like a humanoid titan, aimed the anchor in his hand at his head, and smashed it down. Bang! Dagong hurriedly used the dragonfly chi blocked it, and the collision between the dragonfly key and the anchor made a deafening sound. The collision between the 2 top-level enhanced mutants directly shattered the ground under their feet. A solemn look appeared in Li Taichang's eyes. He used Bai Chunyu's Snow Piao Renjian to cover up and actually launched a surprise attack, but was blocked by the opponent with one hand. Dagonghui Yanjin showed his white fangs and laughed wildly at Li Taichang's eyes exposed from the armor. "Not bad. It's really interesting." "Arrogant!" Li Taichang held the anchor with one hand to attack and held a long chain with the other hand. At one end of the chain, there was a meteor hammer the size of a human head. He raised the meteor hammer high above his head and smashed it towards Dagonghui Yanjin. Bai Chunyu's offensive did not decrease at all and continued to attack Dagonghui Yanjin's body with countless flying snow. Even the strongest body of steel could not withstand the thousands of cuts of his sharp snowflakes every second. However, Daikokai Engine was not fighting alone. Seeing this, Sakuraba Yushiguang and Kurosawa Akira behind him immediately started to support. Sakuraba Yushiguang held his right wrist with his left hand and pointed his right hand with 5 fingers open at Daikokai Engine. An invisible shockwave was released instantly. Bai Chunyu was about to continue his offensive, but suddenly found that his body sank and his movements became slower. Li Taichang also felt that his hands and feet became heavier. "Is this gravity?" They immediately understood what the other party's ability was. Eclipse Group Number 13, Sakuraba Yushiguang, ability code name, Gravity Field. It can enhance gravity indiscriminately within a fixed area. This ability has a great impact on Bai Chunyu because his Snow Piao Renjian is the incarnation of thousands of drifting snow. The impact of gravity is relatively large. But for the powerful Great Works Yanjin, this level of gravity field is of no use at all. Li Taichang stared at this, quickly chose to retreat and distance, and said to Dagong Hui Yanjin, "Your opponent is me." Daikokai Nobujin grinned. Of course he would not miss this opportunity. He waved the dragonfly cutter in his hand and chopped it down at Li Taichang's forehead. As a Yokozuna, he did not know how to use any weapons. His fighting style was very simple, that is, brute force. One force breaks all methods. Li Taichang stared at this, quickly chose to retreat and distance, and then swung the more than 10-meter-long chain in his hand towards Daikokai Nobujin. The meteor hammer at the end pointed directly at his chest, blunt weapon. Attacks do not need to be aimed at the vital points specifically. As long as they hit the body and cause damage, the opponent can quickly lose combat effectiveness. Although Dagonghui Yanjin was conceited, he had experienced Li Taichang's strength and did not dare to take it lightly. It was just that he could use a dragonfly cut to deflect the attack from this distance with one hand. Li Taichang was wearing heavy armor, but his movement speed was not slow at all. He fought at a distance to adapt to the action under the gravity field. Soon he mastered the method of attacking under this gravity state and began to skillfully fight. With Dagonghui Yanjin, he was once a first-class martial arts performance artist in China and a master of meteor hammer. After obtaining superpowers, he made up for his physical defects and truly became a powerful mutant. In terms of skills, I am first class. In terms of strength, I am also first class. Li Taichang said so. So when he met the sturdy and bear-like Yokozuna in front of him, he had no fear at all. He believed in himself and his team. Bai Chunyu's offensive was affected, and the gravity field was a bit fatal to his ability. He encountered a gravity field, so it was difficult for him to fly. He said to Luo Tianxiang, "Help me kill the guy who manipulates gravity first." Luo Tianxiang replied, "Got it." He kicked the ground with his legs lightly, and the whole person soared into the sky. In the air, he grew a pair of huge white wings, and his body turned into a huge bird. Luo Tianxiang, an orc-type ability user, a rare animal species, Snow Mountain Thunder Falcon. Luo Tianxiang quickly flew hundreds of meters high. Even at such a long distance, he could see everything on the ground clearly. This came from his ability, Eagle Eyes, which can dynamically capture everything moving on the ground. He locked onto the position of Sakuraba Yushiguang, opened his mouth, and spit out a white lightning, which fell like a sword. The speed of lightning was too fast, but this time, Luo Tianxiang's transformation was in front of several people, so they had been prepared for a long time. At the moment when the lightning fell, Sakuraba Yushiguang's body strangely jumped back and actually retreated dozens of meters away. His body was light and fluttering, as if it had no mass. In addition to being able to release the gravity field, it can also be applied to the body, making him walk on a planet that is only half the weight of the moon. So his speed and strength can be greatly improved. Luo Tianxiang let out a loud cry, and his claws condensed lightning, and lightning after lightning continuously struck the ground. The three people of Eclipse Moon are all within his attack range, and he soared in the sky, overlooking the earth like a king. At this distance, almost no one can attack him. This is his favorite kite game. But at this moment, Kurosawa Akira stretched out his hand to throw off his black leather jacket, revealing the huge black hand cannon on his right arm. "Hunting time is here!" Kurosawa Akira raised his hand cannon and aimed at Luo Tianxiang in the air. He pulled the trigger without hesitation, and a yellow light shot up into the sky, turning into a bright beam of light, and instantly came in front of Luo Tianxiang. Swish! Luo Tianxiang turned around and dodged Kurosawa Akira's attack in the air. As the king of the sky, His speed is also extremely fast, and this bulky hand cannon attack can't hit him. When Bai Chunyu saw this, he was about to transform into Piaok Shui to help, but suddenly heard a cry for help from behind. "Deputy Captain, come and help me!" In just a dozen seconds, the battle between Dagongkai Yanjin and Li Taichang had been fought hundreds of times. Dagongkai Yanjin's attack method is extremely simple and crude. He just rushed to Li Taichang and forced Li Taichang to compete with him in strength. The heavy and sharp dragonfly cutter kept smashing in his hand. It was obviously a sharp weapon, but he used it as a blunt weapon. After all, for Dagongkai Yanjin, he was not good at using weapons. He chose the dragonfly cutter only because he admired the legendary warrior Honda Tadakatsu in Japan. But when fighting, he still felt that this thing was more convenient to use as a stick. Li Taichang was also angry, holding the anchor in both hands, and chose to fight with Dagongkai Yanjin. But after the fight, he found something wrong. In terms of strength, he was no match for Okokai Enjin. The 3-meter-tall Tide Tiger form after the transformation made Okokai Enjin, who was a Yokozuna, almost invincible in the field of strength. The dragonfly cut fiercely on the anchor. After just a few dozen collisions, Li Taichang felt that his hands were almost numb, and the spine on his back was cold. After 100 rounds, his legs finally became unstable, and he fell to the ground with a thump. However, Okokai Enjin had no intention of stopping. Looking at the guy in front of him who was wearing heavy armor and struggling to support himself, the violent emotion in his heart arose spontaneously. He wanted to smash the coward hiding in the armor into a meat paste alive. Finally, Li Taichang's arms could not support it. Even though he was wearing the armor tailored for him by Deng's industry, the gap in strength between the two sides was still too big. Dagonghui Yanjin's right hand shook, and the anchor in his hand flew out of his hand. Bai Chunyu saw that Li Taichang was no match for Dagonghui Yanjin, and he was not surprised. After all, the other party was the second in command of the Eclipse Moon organization, and he did not expect Li Taichang to defeat him. The reason why he brought Li Taichang here was to be able to hold him back from the front. Although Li Taichang made a cry for help, his body moved along the ground very quickly, and the thick iron chain in his hand was thrown at Dagonghui Yanjin's legs, trying to restrain him. Seeing this, Bai Chunyu said to Luo Tianxiang through the communication device, "You hold the two guys behind. I will help Li Taichang kill the big guy first." "Okay, leave them to me." Luo Tianxiang looked down at the ground from hundreds of meters high, and dozens of lightning bolts spewed out from his huge claws, shooting at Kurosawa Akira and Sakuraba Yujiguang. The two were forced to retreat step by step. Their methods were very disadvantageous to Luo Tianxiang. Luo Tianxiang soared above the sky at an extremely fast speed, and even Kurosawa Akira's hand cannons could not aim and shoot at him. Li Taichang was defeated by Dagonghui Yanjin head-on, and could only use his skills to delay time, and then shouted to Bai Chunyu for help. Seeing this, Bai Chunyu had to turn back and cooperate with him to attack Dagonghui Yanjin. The sky was full of ice and snowstorms, covering the sky and the earth, covering a large area of space. At this time, Bai Chunyu had transformed into millions of people, and even if he broke some snowflakes, it would not affect him much. On the contrary, Dagonghui Yanjin, due to the transformation characteristics of the orc system, could not wear armor, resulting in his skin being exposed. Being attacked by Bai Chunyu for a long time is like being cut by a blunt knife, and he will be consumed to death sooner or later. But this time, Dagonghui Yanjin was not panicked by Bai Chunyu's attack. Many people mistakenly believe that they, who are full of flesh and weigh hundreds of kilograms, are idiots with only limbs and lack of brains. Dagonghui Yanjin has always sneered at this idea. How can a warrior who fights with his body win the battle if he does not have enough wisdom to deal with his opponent? If he were that kind of simple stuff, he would not be able to survive until now, after the end of the world. You still want to use the same trick against me? It's ridiculous. Dagong Yanjin smiled. Hey, revealing a mouthful of cold white teeth. Then, in the continuous invasion of the blizzard, he did not dodge the millions of snowflakes flying knives, but raised the more than 3-meter-long dragonfly cutter with both hands. He danced the dragonfly cutter with both hands at an extremely fast speed. Soon the dragonfly cutter began to rotate like a windmill, and then a huge whirlwind formed around his body. Bai Chunyu turned into thousands of snowflakes and was dragged by the whirlwind, and he actually lost the ability to move. This guy! Bai Chunyu was shocked. He did not expect that this big guy would think of a way to deal with his ability so quickly. But at this time, if he released his transformed form, he would definitely be strangled by Dagong Yanjin at close range. Don't try to trap me in this way, Bai Chunyu shouted, and the snowstorm began to disperse into the distance. But Dagong Yanjin's movements became faster and faster, and a hurricane visible to the naked eye formed with him as the center. The strong wind pressure formed an absolute pressure gap, and Bai Chunyu, who was trying to escape, was gathered around him. No matter how Bai Chunyu's incarnation wanted to escape, he was ruthlessly pulled back. Damn it! Damn it! Bai Chunyu finally began to panic. But before Li Taichang could catch his breath to help him out, the surrounding snow was all condensed together by the whirlwind artificially created by Dagong Yanjin. Bai Chunyu turned into a large mass of solid icicles around Dagong Yanjin and was squeezed together by the wind pressure. Dagong Yanjin jumped high, and then with a slap, he pressed the huge whirlwind-shaped ice pillar into the depths of the earth. Then he stomped his right foot hard. The earth shook violently, and the soil and rocks collapsed. Bai Chunyu was temporarily sealed under the earth. Although this would not kill Bai Chunyu, for a while, Bai Chunyu had no way to escape. Seeing this scene, Luo Tianxiang and Li Taichang were a little panicked. Bai Chunyu was the main force among the three of them. Now that Bai Chunyu was sealed, the combat effectiveness of the two of them was obviously greatly reduced. Especially for a terrible beast man like Dagong Yanjin, their attack methods would be difficult to work. No, we must rescue Deputy Captain Bai. Otherwise, Li Taichang will not be able to stop that monster sumo wrestler. Luo Tianxiang had to change his attack target. He quickly turned in the air and then rushed to the direction of Dagong Yanjin, spewing sharp lightning from his mouth and claws, aiming at Dagong Yanjin's torso. The speed of Dagong Yanjin is not his strong point, and he cannot avoid this kind of lightning attack. Lightning bolts fell directly from the air on him, and the electric light was lingering. Crackle! But the lightning bolts wandered around him without causing much damage. Dagong Yanjin laughed coldly. This level of attack can't hurt me. Luo Tianxiang's ability is lightning, but this is just the bioelectricity transformed by his ability, not real lightning. Otherwise, with the power contained in the 100,000-volt lightning, even Dagong Yanjin would not dare to take it head-on. Luo Tianxiang's pupils shrank suddenly, and he had a bad feeling in his heart. There was even an urge to escape. They underestimated the goal of this operation, the strength of these neon ronin who came across. The sea is not weaker than their Tianshan team. Luo Tianxiang gritted his teeth. He knew that he had no other choice at the moment. This battle was watched by the top leaders of the headquarters. He must not escape. With this in mind, a larger ball of lightning began to condense in his mouth. He wanted to deliver a fatal blow, at least to force Dagong Yanjin to leave the land, to create a chance for Bai Chunyu to escape. However, just as he was gathering strength, Dagong Yanjin suddenly made a strange gesture. He raised the dragonfly cutter in his right hand, leaned down slightly, and his slender and agile body was pulled open like a big bow. Oh no! Luo Tianxiang immediately realized what the guy was going to do. "I have to dodge!" He flapped his wings and tried to fly, but the dragonfly cutter came straight through the space. The speed of the great worker Yan Jin was not fast, but he had the top physical strength. With the blessing of this power, the dragonfly cutter directly sent out a piercing sonic boom in the air, a blow several times the speed of sound. Luo Tianxiang did not dodge this blow, and his body was directly penetrated in the air. The huge dragonfly cutter even penetrated his body and continued to fly towards the sky for a distance with scarlet blood. Luo Tianxiang felt that at this moment, all the strength in his body was drained. Looking down, a huge hole appeared between his chest and abdomen, which was transparent from front to back. Then he fell straight down from a height of hundreds of meters with his head down. "Old Luo!" Li Taichang's eyes shouted.